Stop trying to be amongst the demons in order to exist. I don't bow down to no, I'm legacy. I don't bow down to no demon. You either go, we're gonna bang or you gonna get out my way. And I'm banging on demons. I'm banging on the wicked. I'm not scared of wicked. I'm not gonna be no wicked to exist in the wicked. I gotta I'm surrounded by demons, so I better be amongst the demons. So no, get the demon, what's popping? Yeah. God's here. Demon. I'm amen, demon. Amen, demon. Amen, Ra, demon. Right? Say, compromising with the wicked, dumbing down light, not avoiding sacred assignment, God's sacred assignment to be a savage, to be an avid savage. What has savagery done to liberate our people? What is savagery going to do right now to help evoke the spirit of our children to become liberated? Holistically, body, mind, and spirit. How is savagery helping our brothers heal their wounds? How is savagery helping our sisters overcome their trauma? What is the benefit of being a savage for the liberation of our people? I don't want to hear about no savage. I bang on the avid savage.
Just sent that request. Supa Nova, what's up with you, King?
Well, the salute. All is well. How are you?
Good, man. Wellness salute to you as well. Man,
yes,
I appreciate you, man, joining the platform, sharing your time. I've been following you, man, for a minute. So, back in college, just seeing your stuff. Sonetta days, man, just, tracking you on YouTube and, man, just tapping in, man. So from my generation, from kids in their young 20s, teenagers, man, I just want to say thank you for all the great work that you've been doing for decades.
Oh, thank you, my brother. Wellness salute to you and the family. And thank you for doing your amazing work with the platform and you and your team, putting out this this media, that is necessary for our growth and development. So
most definitely, man. Yes, sir. Ashe, man. Supa Nova, you are a man of many talents, man, Renaissance man, whether it's music, activism, healing, author, all these amazing, crazy things, man. How did you tap into all of this creativity, man? Because you do so many things. So how did this creative journey just start for you?
I think that started with just having encouraging parents, especially my mother. My mother was my biggest supporter of my creative expressions at a very early age.
Right.
She really just supported me in all of my, things that I didn't even know I was going to be into. She put me in situations to trigger that, So I was early age. I was in all types of creative classes, acting classes. I was a musician at a very early age, playing guitar, piano. Before I even started rapping, I was doing music, and vocal coaching, and she just put me all types of stuff since I was younger. Martial arts, just all types of art and development, things, and so that really stuck with me as I continued to mature, and from a young man to a young adult, and it just kept blossoming, and I think that's really powerful that we can have parents or community. Sometimes you're parented by the community, right? To encourage our young people to tap into their power, tap into their genius. There's so much genius amongst us, but we have to begin to unblock in order for that genius to be, to be excited, to be expressed. And it's never too late on your journey to express your genius. Like for me, I started at a very young age, but there may be brothers and sisters that may be in their mid-20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s. And as long as you have breath in your lungs, and you can get out your own way, there's a powerful offering that you can offer your friends, family, and the planet while you are in your body. And I'm a real proprietor of that. So for me, I hold the universal Renaissance man signal just to encourage brothers and sisters on the journey that may need to see an example of that, and I pray that I can spark a soul or souls that will be courageous enough to share their vision and their journey, their art, their scholarship, their ministry, whatever that may be to them, no matter how wild it may seem to others. The wilder the better. Get out your way, be wild, be free, and just go for it. I mean, I can't even, I don't judge nobody because as far, even with the music, I've expressed all aspects of myself so far. And I think I have so much more to express, but it takes, for me, it takes a certain amount of courageousness to really just go there with yourself, you know, regardless of people's perceptions. You just got to do it, you know. There's nothing on the internet that I'm ashamed of, you know.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, Supa Nova, I saw this video. Great. My only regret is I didn't do more of it.
Wow.
That's it. I have no regret. I regret that I didn't have enough money to even go give y'all more at the time when I was doing stuff. But again, courageousness, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't do what I do, you know, let it spark you to be courageous in your life. Let it spark for you to open up whatever is in you to pour into your surroundings, into the planet. You know what I'm saying? Do not leave this planet with your genius untapped. So that's why I don't give a F what nobody thinks about me that is not in harmony for how I think about myself. You know what I'm saying? And I operate in source, I operate in spirit, and I practice daily getting out of my ego's way, because the ego can lock you into the perception of others and boundaries and all of those things, which are, you know, at some level of the development, you know, you want to have some type of discernment to how you are, you know, channeling your spirit in the physical world. But even in that parameter you set for yourself, you should every so often just free up and get out your way. You know, and allow the Godhead to fully be expressed through your expression. So that was the long way down the road of expressing what you asked me, but I'll share.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And heavy bar as well. Ego, you know, as men sometimes, testosterone, this whole environment now, we can have too much of that ego, whether it can come through jealousy, whether it can come through stress. Man, you give us so much game about how to just operate as men, but still be masculine at the same time. So how do we control ego, but at the same time still be masculine in that same breath?
Well, okay. So the thing about it is, you know, you are the sum total of your parents. You're masculine and feminine, right? And but it's like it's extremes. So in this world, either you know, the masculine world in this 3D is I'm domineering to others around me, and I'm dominating my woman, or you're just, you know, part of the rainbow brothers and sisters, you know, that extreme feminine, right? So it's about finding the balance, right? So you are the best untapped version of your mother and father, right? So think about your mother being a creative side of yourself, your intuitive side, you know, and so trusting that, right? And then your father providing wisdom in yourself, you know, so you show up as your father, and it's about not necessarily what your mother and father did or didn't do for you. It's about knowing that, you know, that, like I talked about earlier, the untapped genius. You are the combination of both of your parents and their parents and their parents. And so it's up to you to tap into that great goddess that has formed you to be the king you are as a man, and see, how can I know thyself, explore myself enough, and be authentic with that exploration, and be courageous with sharing that. That's masculine. The courageousness of being your authentic self. The most masculine thing any man can do is to know himself and step in the world with that knowing, regardless of perception.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about, oh, he's too effeminate or he's too over dominant. It's like, no, find your balance. And once you explore who you truly are, stand courageous in your signal. That's the masculine. And a lot of our brothers don't know who they are. And the ones who do know who they are, they may not be courageous to stand in that, because they're not ready for the world to receive them in that. Right. And so this is why I do the work that I do. Man, heal thyself. For those that are tapping in, twice a year, the fall and winter period, which is coming up this Sunday, we launch our 12-week online training. It's an online training for brothers. We do it in the spring. We do it in the fall. It's inspired by my new release book, Man, Heal Thyself, The Wellness Warrior's Guide to Mastery. So it's really about, you know, men, you know, tapping into their authentic selves, trusting the intuitive goddess head in them, which is their mothership.
Yep.
You know, you are the magnificent union of all that is glorious and righteous of your parents. even if they didn't mean to have you. You are the culmination of their genius.
Wow.
So it's what we do with this genius while we deploy it on the planet Earth. And every man has to find that out in himself, and every woman has to find that out in herself. And the more you can get out the ego of not forgiving your parents for what they did or didn't do for you, but just go within and say, okay, how can I bring these gifts and bring this knowing of myself out into the world in my expression? That's how you can salute the essence of your legacy. That's how you can heal ultimately from whatever childhood trauma you have around parents being there or not being there. See, when we say, oh, our mother wasn't there, our father wasn't there, look in the mirror. They're staring right back at you.
That's right.
See, the more we can understand that, yes, it's a process of wanting that. Okay, now some people have their parents with them, right? From beginning to, but doesn't mean their parents were nurturing and caring, really checking it, right? Like some parents just hang out with their kids. Like they don't necessarily know who their kids are. They provide, right? But they don't really know the spirit of the child. So I think a lot of times we tend to put the lens of jealousy on unnecessarily, right? Because we go, I want what they had, but we don't know what they had, you know? But one thing we all have is an untapped genius called ourselves, which is the grand unification of the divine feminine and divine masculine, called you. You are perfection of that moment made manifest, called your great mother and your great father. We're not talking about their human flaws outside of creating you. We're talking about in that moment of that exhale, when your father exhaled inside your mother and your mother started taking that seed and developing you. That's the genius that we all have to discover in ourselves. Okay. And this is the work that I'm here to do, is to excite and to cultivate and encourage brothers and sisters to be courageous to tap into that genius.
Wow.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mothership. Hearing you say that. Mothership music. The album, man. Think about that. Music video. It was dope. Man, what inspired that title? New album. And also, man, 20 years since the first album. So a lot going on during this time.
Yeah. Oh, wait, well, okay. The Mothership music, that's not a new project. Sometimes, I have a big catalog. So I just sometimes would just pull out something from the catalog and just shoot a video for it. Like I have a new idea. It's like, because I'm working on a new album that's probably going to come out, inshallah, sometime next year. But I just pull out stuff and say, okay, this is hot. It's 10 years old. It's hot still. Let's put a visual to it. So Mothership music was actually, it's interesting you say that, because that was actually the last pure hip hop rap album I did in 2015. Got you. So I haven't, after that, I did an alternative R&B project inspired by the legacy of Prince. People that know me know I'm a big, huge Prince fan, so I just went again about being courageous. I wasn't, insecure that I would just be exposed for tapping into my heart chakra and singing to the females and showing that side. To me, the most gangster thing you can do is love, right? So I don't, ain't nothing no street guy can tell me about nothing that I do, because my thing is, what are you comparing? You're looking at me with being hard. Like I'm a combat veteran. I banged on the Taliban in Al Qaeda. I'm a trigger puller. Wow, that was my job. So I can sing to women all I want. Thanks. I can sing Prince songs all I want. You ain't harder than me. I'm not rap. That's not a rap lyric. That's fact. Trained killer for United States government. Hate it or love it. It is what it is. I'm a warrior, right? So the most gangster thing I can do is not even that. The most gangster thing I can do is sing and serenade the sacred woman. That's heavy. The most gangster thing I can do. That's heavy. But I would dare a man to check me on my gangster or my masculinity because I decided to go straight into the heart chakra. Don't get mad if you feel a way that I'm tapping into that. I'm not singing to you. I'm singing to her. Get out the way. Right? You can either appreciate it, salute me, or get out the way. But my point of saying that is, this is what I'm saying about courageousness. I want to inspire my brothers to masculinity has been limited to a small perception of how we can show up. And its masculinity is such vastness beyond being able to be the one that provides provisions. Masculinity, true masculinity, is standing in the confidence of whoever you are. So in my aspect, right, I'm a master MC rapper, but I don't care. I pick up my guitar and do that. I'll sing. Whatever spirit guides me, right? That may not be my homie's perception that grew up with me, right? He may be from another way, and I'm not. My way's not better than his way, vice versa. But stand in your. If that's your signal, stand in it. Be courageous, right? Anyway, I went on a tangent, but yeah, to the mothership music specifically, yeah. So I'm excited now because I'm back in my rap bag. I haven't been in some years, so my next project will be more geared to that. But just for those just checking in, my last project after mothership music was called "Love in the Midst of Chaos." So it was inspired by, you know, again, like I said, Prince. He was one of my inspirations musically, and I wanted to kind of tap into that chamber and just kind of like serenade the sacred woman in the multiplicity of ways. And now I'm back in the warrior bag. So now we got that check. Now we got it, because, you know, for me, and even it's essentially what I do with Man Heal Thyself, right? You know, the demonic signal has taken over our children, our brothers, and our sisters. And so now we need warriors, all hands on deck, the best brothers and the best sisters, to stand in their God signal, unapologetic. Okay, so that means, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I feel no evil. That means I'm not going to become evil just to walk down the valley of the shadow of death. No, I'm God walking in the valley of the shadow of death. For so long, too many angels had to become demons in order to be around demons. No, I am angelic around demons. Demons either bow down or get out my way.
Wow.
So they say, we say this thing is, I gotta be savage. No, I'm sacred. Ain't nothing about me no savage. Ever. That's a disrespect to my legacy and my DNA. That's what my oppressor called my indigenous self, savage. And he didn't mean nothing righteous with it. I would never take on an exaltation of savage to prove I'm hard. God is hard. That's it. Sacred is hard. That's hardcore. My hardcore is sacred. Savage. Demon time. God time. Ain't no demon time. I lock and load on the wicked. That's why I said to you, the most gangster thing I can do is love the woman. Is love the sacred woman. Acknowledge her. Because the union of the man and woman births the child, which is the holy union, which is us. That's the threat to the demon. The demon. That's on the low frequency of the tone of the scale, the D tone. We need to be on the A tone, the apex, the aten, the amen. The amen ra, hidden light, to the aten ra, revealed light. We need to reveal our light on the apex, not in the descending D tone. So I mean, all these rappers want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, I'm on savage time and demon time. Listen, that's soft to me. You's a buster. Because you too weak to stand on your God on guard. You are assimilator. No, I move through the wolves, lions, tigers, and bears as God. I don't gotta be them. I am him. Just like you need to be him or you need to be her. That's what we need in the Aquarius. I don't know what Piscean did to everybody. We not in I'm an Aquarius. I'm a double Aquarius. So I don't know about no Piscean time. We not in no Piscean time with the dual fishes. One's going this way, one going that way. That was the last 2,500 years. That's why everybody's crazy. I'm going this way. I'm this religion. I'm that religion. I'm this. I'm Aboriginal. I'm African. I'm not African. I'm Indian. I'm Moor. I'm Kevin. I'm an Israelite. I'm Hebrew Israelite.
You preach it.
When we gonna be God on God? When we gonna be goddess on goddess? See all of that shucking and jiving, everybody switching polarities. When we gonna have brothers and sisters stand on their power and stop fraternizing with these low frequencies? So I'm here to shake it up, to shake the stadium. Godspeed. Shake the stadium. We need all spiritual warriors on deck.
Yes, sir.
We need all brothers and sisters, heroes and sheroes on deck. We need our sisters to be sacred. We need our sisters to be warriors too. We need our sisters to be locked and loaded. Brothers have been compromised. So we need to encourage our sisters not only to be pretty and beautiful and feminine, but to be warriorstresses. We need our women as Sekhmet, Sekhmet, the deity, the feminine goddess deity of war, the daughter of Ra, to be on her guard. So she's beautiful and she's pretty, but she's deadly to those that disrespect Ma'at in her. If you disrespect her balance, it's a wrap. So I'm here to tell brothers and sisters, listen, we need the sacred to align and shine. Stop dumbing down your light because they can't compromise and deal with you. I say you ain't been shining bright enough. Turn up more. Turn up your intention more. Evoke your Godhead and every day do the work to build that stronger. It's not about being perfect, but every single day take small steps to whole steps to stand in your spiritual powers, to stand in your Godhead, because that's what's needed for the planet. Stop trying to be amongst the demons in order to exist. I don't bow down to no, I'm legacy. I don't bow down to no demon. You either we're gonna bang or you gonna get out my way. And I'm banging on demons. I'm banging on the wicked. I'm not scared of wicked. I'm not gonna be no wicked to exist in the wicked. I gotta I'm surrounded by demons, so I better be amongst the demons. So no, get the demon, what's popping? Yeah. God's here. Demon. I'm amen, demon. Amen, demon. Amen, Ra, demon. Right? So, compromising with the wicked, dumbing down light, not important sacred assignment, God's sacred assignment to be a savage, to be an avid savage. What has savagery done to liberate our people? What is savagery going to do right now to help evoke the spirit of our children to become liberated? Holistically, body, mind, and spirit. How is savagery helping our brothers heal their wounds? How is savagery helping our sisters overcome their trauma? What is the benefit of being a savage for the liberation of our people? I don't want to hear about no savage. I bang on the avid savage. Ain't nothing about me about being no avid savage. So your brother's here to shake, rattle, and roll. Yes, sir. And I'm saying to brothers and sisters, you listening to me, my beloved brother, join us in standing in your God-given power. You are the genius of your mother and father untapped. Tap into your mighty power, brothers and sisters. Be courageous on your signal. Explore yourself. Man and woman, know thyself. And then unlock your power and shake the stadium of this planet, brothers and sisters. Stop playing with yourself and your cells. Get out your way. Detox the algorithm and be your natural, authentic self. Stop dumbing down your light and compromising your shine because trying to fit in. You ain't here to fit in. Let me tell you something. You can't fit in if you tried. That's why you got problems, because you're trying to fit in. Ain't nothing for you to fit in. You're unique. You, dear brother, your family, your lineage, that's why you're doing the work you're doing. That's why you're doing the platform you're doing. Ain't no fitting in for us. We don't have to fit in. Yeah. We're not here to fit in. We're here to show the divine example. Each one teach one, each one reach one. Yes, sir. So that's my charge to you and brothers and sisters that are tuning into us. We need brothers and sisters to tune up and turn way up more. Right. If your light was at a 15 watt light bulb and it's too bright, we need you at 110. And does the crown be heavy for brothers and sisters? Absolutely, the crown is heavy for the kings and queens. But that's who you are. That's who we are. Let's stop. See, when we know who we are, dear brother, we ain't set tripping. We ain't tribe tripping. See, you can never tell me. It's blasphemous, dear brother, for me to say that I am not all of my ancestors. I don't want an ancestor only here in America. Give me my ancestors here, there, and everywhere. Facts. Yeah. I want them in Africa, Asia, Australia, wherever greatness roamed that my DNA is part of, I want it. I'm limited to some Indian side of myself. Well, you can keep your chief rocker on that rock. I'm going to be the chief rocker that goes here, there, and everywhere. I want all of the glory, all of the power. I'm not limiting my ancestral power to Africa or America. I am interplanetary, united and ignited. All of the ancestors I evoke, so I can move through this life with power, speed, precision, and clarity. I evoke all the ancestors from all time immemorial that can inspire me to inspire you. I'm as Aboriginal. How dare I say what I am only? I don't know that. How dare I say I'm only this and only that? Last time I checked, God is all.
That's right.
So, brothers and sisters, miss me, your dear brother, with the limitless consciousness. My message may not be for you because I'm not limited. So you can keep following the algorithm of the limited ones and chasing that signal. Or you can be amongst the mighty superheroes and sheroes, the heroes that have their wings expanded and raising up with urgency and purpose and clarity. Or you can be with the limited. With the limited ancestor power. I mean, did you want all ancestor power, or you just want a little tribe, but your little tribe? You want a little tribe power, or you want the intertribal power? I'd rather have intertribal power than my a tribe. I'm not part of it. No, give me. I want all the warrior. I want that. I want the Shinnecock and the Cherokee, just like I want the Igbo and I want the Zulu. Or the Shogun from Japan. Give me all the power. Give me all the warriorship. I want the Mau Mau. I want wherever, the brother Rock, the Rock family from Hawaii. I want them. Give me wherever the warrior is at. If I don't know if the bloodstream was in the Vikings too. If I got 2% over there, right? Give me some of that Game of Thrones. Give me some of that Game of Thrones power, right? Let's be unlimited, dear brother. Let's stop having these limited conversations. Our conversation should only be like ours, honestly. I mean, we didn't have everything else. If we're not going to be having no high-powered downloads to encourage each other to be our highest and wisest, what are we even interacting for?
That's right.
We're not maximizing time and space in this continuum. What's the point? So you called me for this interview. I got out the way and let the spirit, all I'm doing is this.
That's it. That's it.
You said something to me, and I'm getting out the way, and Spirit is bringing this ministry. Yes, power from Germany. Yeah, wherever our power is at, we need all power on deck. Our planet needs all of us to do our collective work, dear brother. Right? We need to have the best of the best amongst us to be champions of our highest and wisest. We need all hands on deck. I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. We need all hands. We're all being called forward in a time such as this.
That's right.
The question, dear brothers and sisters, will you answer the sacred call to action? You are being called to greatness. You are being called to power. You're being called to the commandment to be and will your highest and wisest. Will you answer the power call? Dear brothers and sisters, I'll pass it to you, dear brother.
Hey, you cooking up. Look, I'm just sitting back, soaking up game. So, man, you were good flowing on your page. Like, again, you're always dropping powerful gems. And one post, you were just going in about how growing up, we have this intuitive power of knowing who we are. But so many times, growing up, speaking on that light, it dims over time of us trying to seek outside validation. As men, how can we stop trying to seek validation from the outside and then start tapping into that validation on the inside more so?
Okay, well, men, we have to slow ourselves down enough to listen and practice internal discernment. There's a part of our head that is chasing ideals and goals outside of us, which is not a problem. You have money goals and things that you're out here chasing to get in the material world, all well and good. what happens though, we get so caught up in chasing the outside external validation of the world, right?
Right.
That we do not seek the internal guidance of our internal selves. And that internal guidance and voice has always been with us since we were young men. Always been there with us. And you know, our choices and our ignoring that has put us into a state of detriment. And so I would encourage men to, you know, find time just to get quiet enough to hear, listen, ask a question upon yourself, and be prepared to receive the answer. Now, what you ask upon your higher self, what comes through you may be contrary to what you've been living. But you have to be, again, here comes this word again, courageous enough to heed the word that comes through you, the meditation that comes through you. So this is why we have, you know, like just like the rites of passage, the man healed lies the rites of passage. You know, we facilitate these disciplines and exercises in the training, for example, to get brothers into a space where they can get quiet enough to receive the download. And that's what we have to, because our brother, again, manhood has been taught to us based upon an external accumulation, you know, the external pursuit. But what happens to all of this stuff inside of us? So what? Okay, if it was only that, then you wouldn't have no suicides amongst billionaires and millionaires. What they don't tell you is a lot of the suicides are not only for people that are maybe lower economic class, but a lot of affluent people. Why are they have everything in the material world? Why are they committing suicide? And mainly men, because they have not been able to explore within the same pursuit, excitement, and vigor that was taught to be what manhood is. They have not did the inverse. They have not brought it inside themselves. So like I said, there's nothing wrong with dominating your goals and being out here and getting it outside yourself. But the same mirror has to be the man in the mirror. Like Michael Jackson said, you know, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Unless you do that, unless you actually look in the man in the mirror and do that internal work and understand that there's so much more that you could be offering yourself in the world beyond just your material pursuit. That's only one aspect of the manhood. But that one aspect, for no matter what tribe you come from, what ethnicity and race, it seems to be a universal man is based upon that. And most men, we are losing because women on the other side are taught to cultivate themselves. Women are always focusing on self-care, self-development. Women make no excuses. They don't care if they have jobs, man there, not there, 2 or 3 kids, school. Women always find time for self-care. Like, and that's a universal. Black women, white women, Latin women. Right? All traditions. So now speaking earlier about the power of our mother and father, this is where a man in his true masculinity seeks the voice of the mother in him, which is his mother in his DNA. He's his mother and his father. That asking, that meditation, that self-care, taking time just to maybe, you know, groom yourself. That's your mother. That most men don't, they rough. They don't. When a man says, I'm going to get a line up and I'm about to go out and make sure I'm oiled up and smelling good, that's the mother. Right? So you see what I'm saying? It's not effeminate, but that's your mother principle in you, making sure you're prepared. So look and see, we have to transform the attributes. We, unfortunately, for so long have been looking at the female energy as something lower. Look how we say, don't be a P-U-S-S-Y. First of all, that's the most greatest gate start. That's the reason why we're here. So why we attribute weakness with the reason why we're here? No man has, I would never want, I'm a man. I don't want to go through what it took to birth me.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
The most gangster thing a woman can do is breathe us into life. But yet women and us agree that weakness is don't be a P-U-S-S-Y. So that's a problem on both sides. Why are women still allowing men to say that? And why even women to say that? Don't be why are we associating weakness with the most powerful stargate on the planet? The woman's womb. Why do we associate weak with women's womb? So we have to change that dynamic. Women have to force us to change that. Women have to value themselves to stop affiliating themselves with weakness. Because you let it happen. I even hear women saying that to women. Don't be no P-U-S-S-Y. We would not be if it was no P-U-S-S-Y. Nothing will be without no P-U-S-S-Y. Everything in nature is P-U-S-S-S-Y. The planet, the womb, we're in a orb. Okay, if you're thinking of flat earther, we're in a disc. It's all the womb. It's a circle, it's an orb, it's all the womb.
Yeah.
But why we affiliating our weakness, how dare we affiliate weakness with the sacred mother? See? So you want to be a true masculine? Evoke respect for the mother.
Wow.
That's how you be a true masculine. Because you are truly your mother and father, dear brother. Stop shaming your mother in you. And check it when it's outside of you. That's alpha. Defend and protect the mother nature. Man has to be the master teacher and instructor. Stop following the trend of destruction. That's what I said earlier, beloved, about us being on demon time.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem to me. I bang on that. That's war for me. When I hear my babies and my children in hip hop talk about I'm on demon time, I'm disturbed by that. I'm raging war to that. No, there's no way I'm going to be in this body and allow demon time to dominate my brothers and sisters' lives without me speaking truth to power. We are sacred beings, and true masculinity and true femininity is unlocked when we have respect for one another.
Wow. Man, this is heavy. I love this. Speaking on the mother, your mother, absolute legend, Queen Afua. What impact, man, did she have on you?
I get into the Holy Spirit a lot, brother. Are we on flow? Are you
man,
good?
listen.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm honoring my brother.
Supa Nova, my job is just to ask the question, sit back, let you feed the people, man. Hey, I got 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason, man. Here to listen. Yes, sir.
You asking about mom? Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Nah, you good. Queen Afua, absolute legend. Speaking, on the mother, on the womb, what impact has she had on you as a man throughout this lifetime?
Well, my mother has been my inspiration to be a wellness warrior. She was my example of what that was, raising me as a vegan child in the 80s. Okay. That I was born and raised vegan, but it was a fight. She had to fight her family members, my father's side, because they wanted to feed me toxic foods. So I got to see someone stepping up for a greater quality of life for myself and my brothers and sisters. So she fought for us to have a greater quality of life. She fought for us to have spiritual power, mental power, and physical power. And so I got to see, like, that's a wellness warrior. Is a brother or sister standing up for the better quality of their health and wellness and their expression in this life. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for integrity of your body, mind, and spirit. That's holistic wellness. And so when I look about what was the light bulb of what a warrior was for me with wellness, it was my mother. And I'm not perfect. I had my journey where I had my moments in the street life. I had my moments gang banging. I had my moments set tripping, and I did all that little dumb stuff. Stealing, robbing. I had a moment, right? Yeah. But I knew where I came from, so I had to go. Unfortunately, I went through that rites of passage, but I came up out of it. Even much more disciplined and aligned to be on task, and it was because of her that I was able to use that misdirection I was on, that pathway. And I saw that she maintained, even when I was in my insanity in my teenage years, she maintained that integrity. And that maintenance that she did was an inspiration for me to get back on my creative path and my path of serving and helping others and not being destructive, but being productive.
Yeah, I love that, man. Speaking, on that journey, Low Life Crew, the sportsman.
Oh, yeah.
Being fresh in the 90s.
Yeah, that's right.
Flow, killing that. If you could talk to young Supa Nova from back then, 91, 94, what would you tell him?
I would tell him that I have him. I got you. That I'm proud of you trying to figure yourself out. And, the future us has the master plan. So just, you have, because that was a hard time for me in my development. You know, what you know, the main thing, you know, the root of me even being in the streets to those extremes, you know what I mean, from, you know, with the low lies boosting to even the early formation of the East Coast Bloods, before I got righteous with even dealing with the Bloods and the Crips, and changing that energy around to healing and unification. That all stemmed from my father. My father, you know, unfortunately, he was dealing with substance abuse, you know, crack cocaine. And I was one of those children. Like, you know, in hip hop, most times what we hear is a celebration of the hustler, right? So nobody talks about, you know, the children whose parents were on crack, right? We only talk about the dope boys. We don't never talk about the, you know, we don't never acknowledge that some of us MCs and rappers are the children of parents that were dealing with those that was subjected to the dope boys.
Right.
But in the hip hop culture, we only talk about the dope boys and the dope MCs and the pusher, like everybody was doing that, right? And so I was on the other side of that, where I had a parent that was dealing with that. That was they would call a crackhead. Now, when you're a young child, 13, 14, you don't want to be, you know, that was the worst thing you could tell somebody. Your mother or your father's a crackhead. That's approach at the core. So that's a deep trauma, you know. And I'm pretty sure there's so many brothers and sisters in the hip hop culture that have my story, but they're not necessarily ready probably to share that. I'm pretty sure even the rappers who rap about dope, some of them they rap about dope, and they probably was even selling it to their parents. Like it gets that toxic with a lot of our journey, you know. But that was the root. The root was my father was in the street life and different dynamics. You know, he was selling it before he became it, right? You know, and so his lack of being in his highest and wisest, I'm following that signal, trying to outdo him, but not being a junkie, you know, trying to show that I'm street, I'm thug and gangster, you know, all of that signal, you know, to get his attention. I mean, I'm clear that that's what it was, you know. But that almost took my life. I almost lost my life, you know, and you know, I never did hard time jail, but you know, I got arrested a couple of times just doing dumb, stupid stuff, you know. Thank God I never got to see Rikers Island or none of that, you know, the hard stuff. But it was enough wake up call for me to really look at my little young man in the mirror, you know, and see that, you know, there was much more than me following that pathway. But I'm glad I experienced all of that, because I was able to now be amongst those brothers and sisters in that street tribe, and now bring these other gifts that I had in my affiliation, you know, that my mother, Queen of Fool, and my different elders in my life were uniting me with, you know what I'm saying? My mother was married 3 times, like my birth father, who birthed me, Chief Shango B. Her second husband, some of y'all may know, is Reverend Philip Valentine, Dr. Phil. For those that know him, one of the metaphysical master teachers. He was my second stepfather. My third father after him was Baba Heru, the Kemetic priest elder. So, you know, so I've had these powerful men in my lives, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the father, my first example down that negative street path, I had to learn some lessons there, you know, and I'm glad I did. Because as I was able to overcome the streets and now ascend in it and you know, be more of a mentor to brothers and sisters who were still lost in the chaos, this is when the teachings of Baba Heru and Baba Phil Valentine's kicked in. I was able to use some of those things that they put on me as a youth too, you know. So I don't have any regrets, beloved. I'm real grateful to be talking to you now. I mean, I've lived such a very intense life that a lot of people who probably I've lived many lives in one life. I mean, extremes, you know. So but I think I know I'm blessed to have went through that, so I can be a beacon to others on their journey, you know, on that, because there's some that are not as multiplicit as me, but then there are others that are, you know, and I know I can be encouraging to them, because they may be an anomaly in their family, in their tribe, in their surrounding, you know. And if I can be a beacon of light to encourage brothers and sisters to be resilient, to keep pushing through, small steps to whole steps, right? Every single day, finding ways to ritualize your joy and to keep your high vibrational signal and to protect your time and your energy and to know that you're sacred. That's what I want to put into the world, but in a warrior way. Ain't nothing punk and corny about being on your spiritual discipline. See, you know, what's sad about it is that this is why people don't feel proud about that, because they think they're going to be made fun of and people don't think it's strong. That's what I'm saying. We got to evoke the strength from our authentic selves, and we have to know who we are, and we can't be using it like you said earlier, asking me a question about following external ideals of manhood that has not served us, has not served us as men. We're following these archetypes that are not necessarily healed from their traumas. And we're saying that we're men based upon those archetypes. Now, there may be positive principles in some of these archetypes, but there's so much more to you, so much more to me. And each of us as men and women, right, on our path, have so much more to contribute if we take the time to really unlock and unblock. There's a lot of trauma that a lot of us have from children, from young kids that we have not necessarily overcome. People may not know about, even our loved ones, our partners may not know about. And so I challenge brothers and sisters to go back into, like you asked me about my childhood, go and do that meditation work. You know, talk to your inner child. I've done many times. You know, I teach brothers. Well, I don't teach, but I show brothers that example through the rites of passage. We do exercises where they have to tap into that inner child and talk to that traumatized child as a grown man. Kind of like how you said, we have exercises that are in the Man Heal Thyself book that we share in the rites of passage to encourage brothers to do that shadow work, to do that trauma work. Go back to that time when you felt abandoned from your mother or your father, or, you know, some brothers unfortunately have been molested and touched, you know what I mean? So we want to also hold sacred space for those brothers. Yeah. Because it's a lot of our brothers who have been abused and they don't get to talk about it and share, right? So this is why I created Man Heal Thyself, the rites of passage, to hold space for men's healing, regardless of where they at in their healing, whether you know your master teachings or don't, right? You don't got it's not about that. It's not about judging if you're more Israelite or more Kemetic. No, it's like whatever you call yourself, wherever you are, brothers, let's do the self-care work, let's do the healing. Whether you was banging or not, whether you was serving in the country or not, whether you were corporate America, you know what I'm saying? Whether you were a nerd, whether you were an alpha heterosexual, whether you were a rainbow brother, all men's healing is important. Yes, sir. And all men's healing is our responsibility as brothers. Because see, through men's healing and self-care, we can fully acknowledge the divine feminine that is in the sacred mother, that is in our internal formation in ourselves. Hence, we'll attract better quality women. Hence, we'll be able to cultivate much more powerful relationships with our sacred women. Period. But we must know ourselves. We must know thyself, and we must know ourselves. Just know yourself and know yourselves.
Yes, sir. I love that. Ashay, man. Back from, I think it was like 2014, I was a freshman in college, seeing you, man, on YouTube. I was blown away because, man, seeing somebody with tattoos, I have tattoos as well. And, you know, man, just seeing you be so intellectual, intelligent, that breaks all stereotypes that we're taught growing up. And then also, man, seeing you having a past in gang banging, being a blood, breaking down like the whole history of gang banging, which was so important. On your page as well, man, seeing you pretty much break down how 99% of people who are trying to bang right now are pretty much false flagging and not doing it on proper principles. So, man, if you can break down, because so many times people think about Bloods and they think about LA, New York, and it's supposed to be edgy, but man, seeing you, you know, break down like, yo, we're supposed to be active, and Blood actually stands for something. It's an acronym. Right. Break that down for us if you can.
So all black gangs or warrior tribes, in the United States of America, there are 4 major ones. Now, there are many subsets and tribes or whatever, but there are only 4 major black warrior gang nations. I mean, let's say that. Nations. And that doesn't mean if you just in the motherland of LA or New York. So you have the Blood Nation, the Crip Nation, you have the Folk Nation, you have the People Nation. So you'll find most of course, the People and Folk Nation, the 5 and 6, mainly in Chicago, in the Midwest, parts of the South. Now in New York, you can forget it; they're all there. The motherland of the B's and C's is definitely, you know, Southern California. But we know now that it's all over the United States of America, right? So for me, right, because I have knowledge of self, I play up the righteousness. So whatever my thing is, wherever I grow through, even when I'm in the street, I was always one that found where's the knowledge, where's the righteousness, where's the symbols, and I held true to that, right? And unfortunately, in the journey of the warrior tribes, because there's so much infighting with the brothers, is that we don't play up the spirit of what brothers really meant in the trying to figure it out, right? It's not saying it was perfect, but when we talk about the Black nation, warrior nation tribes, right? The folks, which is the six, you know, you'll have the Black gangster disciples or the gangster disciples, the GDs, right?
Yeah.
Well, Larry Hoover, he done told us it means growth and development. And so somebody like me goes, all brothers living growth and development. Like when you tell me growth and development, that's more powerful than saying gangster disciple, even though I respect it, right?
Yeah.
Folks, FOLK, forever I love knowledge. What's this? Forever I love knowledge. Knowledge. Forever I love knowledge. S is something I forgot right now, but that's an acronym.
You're right.
The People Nation is the Latin Kings and Queen Nation, the Vice Lords, you know, the El Rukins, which are the Moorish brothers, which are the Black Peace Stones, right? When you look at the roots of a lot of that is, you know, you see the Islamic stuff, you see the Kemetic stuff, you see the Israelite stuff. Like they got, you know, I mean, the 5-star, the 6-star. These are powerful principles. You know, the 5-star for the People Nation is love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. The 6-star, love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. But who's living that? See, that's what the 6 means. So if you say you banging the 6, are you banging love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, understanding?
Wow.
I'm banging the 5. Love, peace, truth, justice, freedom. So you see what I mean by force flagging? Crip, community, revolution, and progress. Crip, conscious revolution and progress. Blood, brotherly love, or rising up opposition, destruction. What? So everybody is force flagging because you're at the root as a Black man that's a warrior. If you're not using that warriorship to develop yourself and your brothers and your nation and then your race, you're all force flagging. If it's just about the set, where you come from, and you chucking up the set, and your nation is not fortified with responsibility to your race, it's all force flagging.
Wow.
So I represent a tribe of an old tribe of amongst all of the nations. There's a few of me around. We're like fossils that we really hold. It's like holding the holy scrolls of the gangsters. We hold the principles true. So if you look at my page, I'm not hiding none of that.
Right.
That's not what, when I have it on my page, that's me. That's another way of saying, man, heal thyself. There's no separation between church and state. Because I'm not upholding the banging and the destruction. I'm saying, look at the principles. I'm talking about the principles and how I'm showing and proving that in my life. I'm not talking about no set tripping, gang banging. I did that when I was, 16, 17, 18? As a grown man, if if I'm not su whooping for wellness, su whooping for my God mind, then I'm not su whooping. That's just me. Those that think like me. And listen, that's why I told you earlier, I went and said about the greatest gangster you could be is the one of love. Right. That's why I said I don't get into arguments with brothers try to check who's more masculine and that's funny stuff to me. Because what are we weighing it on? Like, I'm not right? So to me, I mean, the most gangster thing you can do is how we building right now. This is gangster. Right. You know, building for your family, for your people. That's gangster. Everything else to me is bust activity. That's me personally. That's just me. I'm not going to judge your journey, but to me, you know, they tend to go, oh, you on that conscious Talib Kweli? Well, no, I'm on gangster. No. I'm not on no conscious. Salute to my brother Talib Kweli. Salute to him. And I love that. I'm a G. All of my righteousness is gangster. Everything I do is gangster. Right. How I take my greens, my chlorophyll, how I do my meditation, everything's gangster to me. What you talking about? I rap on banging on wickedness. I lock and load on demons. What are you talking about? I've literally rapped about killing demons. Just how people rap about their ops. No, my ops is wickedness. My ops is opposition to our growth and development. My opposition is anything that's from the growth and development of our brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and children. That's my ops. My street rap gangster lyrics is about banging on wickedness. To me, just me, there's nothing more gangster than that.
Talk about
There's nothing more gangster than riding for my brother on the other side of the screen and his seeds and my sisters and brothers. And everything to me other than that is helping my opposition. And that's buster activity.
Yeah.
I get it. It's survival. You know, we trying to survive. But that doesn't mean it's gangster. It just means it's survival. I get it. But no, loving ourselves is G'd up and gangster. Respecting our elders is gangster. See, we got to put that's why I told earlier about disrespecting the woman's womb as weakness. We have to change the frequency, man. If we're going to still use these words, we're not going to stop using the street words, right? So if we're going to keep using these street words, you're not going to stop people from using them. You might as well arm them with intent. Right? So then you're not going to box me, Supa Nova's on that Talib. And no, I'm on that. Ain't nothing. Talib is no different to me than Eazy-E. Same thing to me. Maybe not to you. Maybe you have another worldly conscience. No, I'm united in me. I'm a warrior of my people. I'm a global warrior. I'm an interstellar warrior. I bang on the wicked in me so the wicked outside of me can't even succeed. So I don't even know what they talking about. See, that's the problem, beloved. My tribe don't got the microphone most times. So I'm an anomaly.
Yeah.
You put me on World Star talking about the 5, the 6, the B, and the C. That's it. But because, unfortunately, who they put on there, or my tribe of brothers from the various G schools that perpetuate the same death and destruction. And they're not trying to pour life and love in the YGs. They say, you leave them little homies alone. We was banging, we were young. But nobody's G-checking. G-checking doesn't mean necessarily disrespecting. It means I'm taking the time to inform a young homie to want more out of this. I sacrifice so they can G up and want more. Not stay in that same death culture. No, I'm not gonna. No, it's not. I'm not gonna let the YGs just be. No, if they come around me and I can be an influence, I'm gonna shower them with love, light, positivity, and prosperity. I'm not gonna keep saying they need to leave them. No, I'm not leaving them alone. They my people. And that's the problem. We don't have. Like I said earlier about the word courageous. Yeah. The manhood has been compromised, even amongst the archetype that we think is manhood. So the gangster is the manhood, but he's been compromised. He's snitching on his brother. He's not being honest with himself. He's disrespecting his sisters. He's constantly banging on other brothers that look just like him. So that's been compromised. So we need to reform and reshape man in the image of our internal God, which is our highest and wisest. And that's the journey that we all have to figure out. So this is why ultimately where the Bloods and the Crips led me in the 5 and the 6, it led me to man heal thyself. It led me to be, it don't matter what tribe you're from. It don't matter where you live, whether you bang or you a nerd, all men need healing. And I'm here to support all of my brothers wherever they come from, regardless of whatever they into. If I can support them as a bridge to be in their power selves, so they can be, their genius can be unlocked, and that's what I'm here to do. So it's not limited to the gangsters or the nerds or the corporate guys. No, it's like wherever man needs healing, we need to be there to facilitate that call to action.
Yes, sir. Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy, man. Supa Nova, you've been so gracious.
Did I clarify that with the
man,
gangsters?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say one more thing with the G's, beloved. This is, if anybody is from the formation out there, Folk Nation, People Nation, Blood Nation, Crip Nation, you are in the womb of the black race. You're not an alien. You don't live on Mars or Venus. Okay? And you all have to be called to get active. You need to get active with healing yourself and using that warrior energy from destruction to healing. Okay, from destruction to a functional healing. And that's my charge to all the G's, that we truly G up. G's up, we not a G. We've been G'ing down. We need to be G'ing up. So you're gonna throw those B's up, get up. Throw them C's up. Throw them forks up. That 5 up. Throw it up. Get up in your higher selves. We need all hands on deck. Separations for the weak. Unities for the strong. Separation is for the weak. Unities for the strong. Separation is for the weak. Unities for the strong.
Man, Supa Nova, man, you preaching. You've been so gracious. I got about 2 more questions, man.
Yep, but, yeah, let's go.
All right, cool. Perfect, man. Nipsey Hussle, Nip the Great, man. I remember when he first passed, I think it was like on a Sunday, into March, I think. And I remember, man, the first person who I thought of, it was you. I went straight to your page on live because I felt like that situation is something that you would know about, be tapped in for. And speaking on ops and us, killing each other, how does that make you feel when we see greats such as Nip, Young Dolph, and countless others get murdered by people who look just like us from a lack of unity, respect, and ego as well? How does that make you feel sometimes seeing those things?
Well, it makes me feel 2 ways. It makes me feel fired up to continue to talk how I'm talking to you. And it's because it's sad, right? So I have to either, if I'm going to sit in the sadness of it, I'm going to use the energy and move it. It's just very disheartening. I mean, we've lost so many brothers to gun violence and to jealousy, like I said, envy to jealousy. And I mean, look at Nipsey. It was somebody from his own hood. It wasn't other enemy Crips or Bloods. It was from in Southern California, the 60s is the most feared and one of the most hated. And they're deep, But for somebody like Nipsey, that so, man, such a beautiful soul and so productive. I never met him, but I know his family. I know his sister. I know Lauren very well. And they were like extended family. And the crazy thing about when he passed that day, Lauren was gearing up to bring him to my mother that evening to meet my mother. Mother and him were talking, and he was letting my mother know he was so happy that her and Lauren were connecting and doing the second woman work. And so our beloved sister Lauren was gonna bring him to meet my mother that Sunday evening.
Wow.
And that unfortunate thing happened. So the gang banging is a disease that only we can figure out to cure. We need to go from gang banging to gang building. Sure. So like I told people, I'm not a banger. I'm not affiliated with bangers. I'm a builder. Okay, I'm not doing gang banging. I'm a builder. So if they see any affiliation with any G's with me, my operation's only to build and for the healing. That's it. I'm not here to justify none of the ignorance, none of the boasting. If we're not going to be up, C up, G up, then I don't have nothing to do with none of that, And I want to inspire more from my tribe, like my age group. Unfortunately, my age group, I'm 45, beloved, and my age group from New York to Southern California, we were at a point where we had a lot of knowledge. We had a lot of knowledge of what the intent. We had a lot of science. We had a lot of stuff to work with. But collectively we dropped the ball because the level of killing that's in Chicago now, the level of killing that's in New York, like New York is ridiculously crazy right now, in Brooklyn and Bronx. That is my generation, us collectively, not being on the same page to transcend. We actually had an opportunity, and my work, I was active for 20 years, from 1995 until I think right before I could join the service. I was boots on the ground with my organization called Unify the Hood, Heal the Hood, and gang mediation. Just really building with the GDs and the Vice Lords and the El Rukins and the Bloods and the Crips across the country, just trying to get a brotherhood going of responsibility and accountability that we could, my generation, that we could actually be a turning point, so the ones under us, the YGs, they can still be affiliated. You can still be affiliated, but they should not be exposed to the same chaos that we can't keep passing on, inheriting the chaos. Mm-hmm. So I think my generation was at a point where we could have transitioned it, because we were getting money in the music industry and sports. Like, it was like so much happening with our generation, between your age and my age, where the young 17, 18, 19 ones, or the ones in hip hop now banging, going crazy. Like the fact that a young rapper 2021 can't just rap. He has to literally worry about being robbed or being killed. His location. That was our generation not turning the other page. We the one, like myself, I'm known to be very vocal. I had respect amongst all the sets, but I didn't have enough enforcement, if that makes sense, right? So like I could go anywhere, in the United States and really talk with the homies. And you know how I talk now, very passionate, I evoke the spirit. But unless I had a tribe of men, alpha men, backing me up, like really holding the homies accountable behind the G wall and in the streets, then we're not going to break the cycle. And that was, so to your point, that's the biggest frustration, is the Nipsey thing. It to me was not, it just wasn't about him and Shitty Cuz. Like the climate that was happening in the country with Crips and Bloods and GDs and Vice Lords and all of that, we collectively had a hand in staying where we at now and changing it. And so you had people like myself, then the next generation, you had Nipsey, because Nipsey he was coming right after me as far as really using his brand to do the marathon. I was in the early 90s to the early thousands doing it. And then he became that next voice. So when I was doing it in Nipsey, I mean, look what happened to Nipsey, right? And then look what happened to me as far as not being backed up by all the reputables who said Supa Nova's on point. But you saying I'm on point, but not holding the brothers accountable. So basically, where is our Gestapo or gangster crews that if the homies are not right in every set, that set G checks that, right? So we don't have that accountability. Like, so every set needed a goon squad that if we are moving righteously, they're moving the nation, the set. See, all the sets belong to the nation. The nation belongs to the race. And to the post that you looked on my page, I was talking to that. It's a chain of command. It's race, it's nation, and it's set. Instead it's tribe, right? So that could be same thing of us. Oh, I'm Muslim, I'm Christian, I'm Hebrew, right? Same. It's the same structure. So if we're not moving from set, tribe, family to the nation that we represent, Moorish nation, Nation of Islam, right? To race, if we get stuck in nation, set, tribe politic, and we don't get back to race, then we failing, and that is across the board. So when you see me show up, I'm showing up from the foundation of set, tribe to race, saying in the name of whatever you call it, blood, crip, folk, nation, whatever you want to call it, right? In the name of our ancestors, we are here to do better. Each one teach one, each one reach one. Who got my back? I've been screaming that for 20 years, brother. And so it hurts me deeper that the climate didn't shift and Nipsey Hussle had to get taken out in the climate that didn't shift. It should be no way that should happen. Where even Nipsey being in his own hood, that the homies are not militant enough around him to already put the pheromone out there. So Shitty Cuz could have just been scared to do it. You see? So just because you got a bunch of brothers around, don't mean everybody's on alpha. Feel right? So that's the thing too. Just because you got people look like goons, don't mean they the goons.
Yeah.
Right? Just because you got 50 brothers that look mean mug, that don't mean everybody's a killer. See, let me say something. I got to. I'm a combat veteran, right?
Right.
Most of the trained killers smile like me, and are peaceful, and they're not aggressive. But I'm talking about. I've met them. I trained with them. I met them, and I banged with them. The most humble men you can meet. They have a kill switch. When it's bang time, they literally go in. When out of that, they're the most loving, caring men you can even meet. You never even know they were killers. That's how deep it is. Wow. So, for survival, we have been wearing the image of the killer, the swag of it. Right. But when it's game time, then this is what happens when beloved people like Nipsey and Dolph and these other brothers get taken out. You say, well, you're like, where's this person? Where's that person? There's no alpha accountability. And all the brothers from my tribe, from my age and a little older, they so trying to get in the music industry and get the women and get the money, they let their little homies do whatever. That's what you see. It's the same thing. They just let it, they want to ban, leave them alone, let them ban, let them represent the set. This the set, that's the tribe. Only because they want access into whatever they think they're getting. They don't want to offend them. See, my thing is, it's bigger than the access because we're all dying anyway. So who's going to be courageous to step up and call truth to power in the name of love? You ain't got to disrespect nobody. Like, I never got to call a brother out of his name. I should speak to his spirit, speak to his soul. But the thing is, we need more. That's why I said, beloved, when I came on this call, we need more hands on deck.
Yes, sir.
So the Nipsey Hussle thing, when people who are not balanced in the atmosphere, they think twice. So we need to militarize, like truly militarize the atmospheres, because these atmospheres are producing Nipsey Hussles, the Dawson, the Pop Smokes. You got to be so thick in the atmosphere where any ops won't even do it because they nervous, even if they're killers. So that means the whole atmosphere has to be reformed. Right? It should be nobody even doing nothing on Slauson like that when Nipsey was at like that. Nobody. But so something happened in the chain of command, right? See? But that's not only the rolling 60s. That's, you can go to every hood across the country. The spirit of the alpha has been compromised. This is why I say it's beyond the colors, the gang affiliation. It's about men healing. Because only through the true healing, beloved brother, can we reform the true alpha and really bring the true king man back. Right? Right now, we just rocking on set, tribe, and legacy. Crip, I'm a blood, I'm a this, I'm a that, and chucking up the hood and twisting your fingers. And meanwhile, the real killers is incarcerating you and flipping your body on Wall Street. Wow. Move paper. We call them in the military paper. What we call them? We called something in the military, right? We would be like, I forgot the name, we said it, where certain leadership would be paper gangsters, right? So if they didn't like you, they messed up your paperwork, and that was the worst thing. And so you had to be mindful of who you maneuver, because in the military, they mess up your paperwork, you jacked up, right? So, right? And so that it's not necessarily about someone who can pull a trigger on you. It's someone that can, somebody said paper soldier, right? Okay. Somebody that can actually reroute the function, the quality of your life. So I just think we don't have a real universal understanding of what we're up against in ourselves and outside of ourselves. And that's why I say, man, heal thyself. We got to do the internal work. And look, by us fellowshipping together, like, you may share some deep stuff, and your insight of how you maneuvering, you inspire me. You make me courageous, right? And vice versa. Right. But men, we have to go beyond the ego of building together, beyond the sports, drugs, and entertainment, and the women. That's how we always bond. I mean, it's great. I mean, that's part of what we do as men. And not saying that's bad, but I'm saying we have to go deeper beyond talking about our sisters, drugs, entertainment, what's happening in the block, sports, rapping. That's good, but we have to go inside and really, as men, just be able to sit with each other, break deeper bread, because we have generational curses and trauma that we're holding on to. But the more men fellowship, you have brothers from Detroit, you have brothers from South Central, you got brothers from the Bay Area, you got brothers from Chi-Town, brothers from Memphis, brothers from Atlanta, right? All the different tribes have a different aspect of the journey. And the more we as men can sit and fellowship on a healing level, when we break and go back into our life deployment, we are heightened. Right? But until we take that sacred time and hold space for each other like that, we'll never uncrack the code. If we're only throwing up the bubbly and celebrating together, or having a debate, right? Which is, see, all these, I'm not demonizing nothing. I'm saying that we do come together, but we don't come together to really sit and just really unpack. And there's so many opportunities we be having, and we only come together when we have to RIP somebody. That's sad. Or when the cop did something. It's the working between the RIP and the cop. It's so much potential we're not, you know what I mean? And so I pray that this conversation that we're having, beloved, inspires brothers and sisters, wherever they may be with their tribe and their circle, to continue to forge ahead. We need all hands on deck.
Yes, sir.
And so that's the only thing I would say saddens me about the Nipsey Hussle situation, and so many situations like that, is that the lack of collective enforcement, especially around souls that have been knighted to do certain things to help all of us. We don't protect them until it's too late. And then RIP cuz, or RIP blood. I'm so tired of that. Like, it's so many beautiful souls not maximizing their genius. I'm just tired of, I'm going to give the RIP respect. I'm just so tired of saying it. I'm just like when are we going to be able to celebrate each other in the living and support each other's genius and protect each other's genius, so we can begin to create that signal, so the next children coming up are more strong in that and they can transcend it. At this point, we can have little kids coming from 60s hood or A-Tray gangster hood, or some blood hood, but they don't have to be bangers. They can be coming from that, but now they're going on to be scientists. They're going on to be metaphysicians or authors or holistic practitioners. They can come from Watts, and they can come from the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens, right? And wherever we may be from in our set. But we don't have to lock them into that rites of passage. We can bless them to go be from that area, section, and represent us in a heightened way. We need to start celebrating that.
Wow. Supa Nova, man, you killed this conversation. It was truly phenomenal. Like, one of my favorites, man, today. Before we bounce and leave, man, tell us, what do you want for people to gain, men and women, from Man Heal Thyself, from the book?
Oh, yes, I got to throw the book up again. What I want brothers and sisters to gain, my brothers especially, the Wellness Warrior's Journey to Self-Mastery. The Wellness Warrior's Journey to Self-Mastery. The Wellness Warrior's Journey to Self. So it's going to be about each and every one of us making a commitment to our internal commitment of bettering ourselves.
Wow. Yeah.
And I want all of you brothers and sisters that are live with us, and you too, and all of your family and team that is with you, beloved, I'm sending you all a Wellness Warrior salute of safe passage, abundance, and protection. May this conversation be a libation for all of us to be more courageous, more loving, more patient, and more supportive of each other's genius. And unlock your genius as the example. Shine in that example. And you standing in your genius, dear brother and sister, and your daily wellness and your discipline will be an inspiration to so many, just by looking at you and seeing you and feeling you without saying a word. So I want to send a wellness salute to all the brothers and sisters that are on this live. I wish all of you safe passage. And salute to my brother from Compton. Yes, bulletproof love to you, L King. And all my brothers and sisters, all of you sacred women and sacred men. Our women are sacred. Our brothers are sacred. You are not savages. You are not savages. You are sacred, shining beings.
Yes, sir.
I command you to shine, sacred man and sacred woman. I command you to lift yourself up, sacred man and sacred woman. I command you to activate your superpower. Be courageous. You always knew since you was a little child, you were special, just like you, beloved. You had your gift since you was a young little child. You are a golden child. You holding space for us. It takes courageousness to do a platform for voices to be lifted. So may you continue to be lifted in abundance and protection, and may you be up. May the way be open for you, and may your genius be protected and not disturbed, and may you lift your warriorship to bang on the wicked within, so the wicked outside of you cannot ascend. Ashe. Roo.
Well, salute. Yes, sir. Man, Supa Nova, again, King, we appreciate you. I got to give you all your flowers. Thank you for all the work that you've been putting in for decades, and I wish you many more decades, man, to come. So thank you again, King. Yes, sir. This conversation today posted on YouTube. I'll make sure to share with you. I have clips for you. Hold on. But
and I told you when I'm in the South, we'll have our face-to-face sit down.
Yes, sir. Look, here in Atlanta, man, anytime, shoot me a text or a phone call, and I got you. All right.
Thank you, family. I appreciate you and the family, and much success to the platform and continue to grow. Family, if any of my people are here, please support my dear brother on his platform, and anybody from your platform. Thank you for having me. Ashe.
Always. Thank you. Always welcome. Always open for you, man. You be good, and you have a beautiful weekend.
You too, family. Wellness salute. Ashe.
Wellness salute.